It was a scorcher of a day today in Ontario as I'm driving back to the barn. 31 degrees it says on the car here. Feels like an oven outside. It is so hot. Going to be a beautiful night for racing tonight. We have two in Georgian Downs. We have GW Chrome making his first lifetime start at Georgian Downs. Drew the 8-hole. That's unfortunate, but he'll get some experience. And then we have Harness AM tonight also at Georgian Downs. She feels like she's ready to roll a little bit. We'll see how she does. At Hanover this afternoon, first stake races in Ontario called the Prospect Series. Now this is a plateau just below the grassroots, and they've needed to make this for a long time. That grassroots divisions have really turned into a shark tank, and it's good to get some relief, although there's no relief today. They seem like they're tough divisions. We have Inland Beach in there. They go for $6,500, so much like a maiden on a half-mile track. They go for $6,500. We have Inland Beach and Capistrano now after her mile the other night. Made sense to she needed a little help anyway, but I'm definitely glad. One, I believe we found out what was wrong with her, and two, we got her in to go in a place where she should have a little bit of relief. Again, there's no cakewalks today either, but nevertheless, a good spot for her. And then we have Muscle Chrome in the maiden. Now this isn't the non-winners of 2,500 she raced in. This was the non-winners of 7,000. Little tougher bunch, but nevertheless, she got around Hanover. Jason Ryan knows her well, so I'm looking forward to see what she does today. And then also tonight we have West 52nd, fresh off probably the best mile of his life. He's in tough again. I see he's 15-1 morning line. And then we have Sunshine's Finest, going to be short a little bit tonight, but nevertheless he's in to go also. I don't know who's driving him. Maybe Jonathan Drury's driving him also. I know James had one in there he was going to take. So I think we got Drury doubled up tonight on our horses. And then also, most importantly, for today anyway, was this morning's action. So I'll get right to it. A very hot day, good fractions, good miles. You're starting to finally see, we put all the work in the winter, but you're now finally starting to see its fruition, right? You're starting to see how good the horses are. I can't change their ability. I can't change their attitude or their work ethic, but we gave them all the tools to apply their trade, so to speak, and to apply their trade, and to be honest, some of them look really good. Some looked okay, and there was a couple that looked like maybe they're inching closer to somebody else with a smaller barn, having some fun with them for the summer. Surreal Love in the last set was so-so, right? 2 minutes. Was he a little sick? He didn't appear to be. He didn't get home very good, went a mile in 2 minutes, and then the Fat Cobra made a break in the last turn. He was probably going to go a mile in 59 today, but those are far from miles that are going to cut it, so to speak. So I'm going to put them under a microscope over the next couple of weeks and decide what we're going to do with them. Now let's get to the other horses. Cirrus Blue Chip, you might ask yourself, well, Anthony, he only went 2 minutes. Yeah, but it was his first start. He was coming off a mile in 2.4 the other day. He went a mile in 2 minutes and a fifth last quarter, 28-1 last half, 57-2. I don't think we really could have asked for very much more from Cirrus Blue Chip. Would I like to see 58-59? Yeah, I would have. But the sheer fractions of his mile were adequate. They were fine. Second set, we come out with another horse, a horse that I would have bet any amount of money 6 weeks ago would not be qualifying, and probably I would have sold him by now, and his name is Brilliant Corners. He had a really bad attitude his whole life, really, from what I could see, definitely from the time he was with us, and he just decided about 4 or 5 weeks ago he wanted to be a racehorse. Now today, I caught up with Sylvain afterwards, and he said, I don't know if he's a Mohawk horse or a gold horse, he said, but he's a useful horse. 57-3, last half 56 flat, last quarter in 28 seconds flat. Now Sylvain had him in a spot where he could have pounced on them and won the qualifier if he was good. He was just pretty good. So still, definitely fractions and a mile that made me feel that a lot better, to tell you the truth. Made me feel that Brilliant Corners could be a serviceable, useful horse this summer, so good for him. In the next set, we went with Braemar. We've been very protective of him. That continued again today. James took him in the back, kind of just went easy with him. Mile in 58-2 last quarter and 27-2 last half, 58 seconds flat. He's probably ready to be opened up in another week. I'd like to come back in 10 days. Might take him to Georgian Downs in 10 days if they write a 2-year-old maid. Maybe. We have options. We have options with Braemar, and we'll see how they shake out over the next 10 days. As I said, then we come back with Blue Monk. I know I'm going to get some emails saying I thought we weren't putting him on the front. We weren't. I know that Mario just wanted to leave out and get him close. I've been there, but at the same time, I didn't want him on the front end. But it's not the end of the world. He paced his last half, I think, where is it? 56-3 last quarter, 27-3. That's speed he hasn't seen in his life. So it could have been the speed on a bigger frame, but he sure looked like a beaten horse tonight, this afternoon. I'd rather not see him on the front end, so I think that's something we're gonna try and strive to stay away from with this guy. And it's not that he's sour or lazy, he just goes to sleep on the front end. Then you have horses attacking from the back end. 27-3 is a very good quarter for any 2-year-old pacer, and a closing quarter, and I think that was just what he could do today. 56-2, 27-3, that's what he could accomplish today. And although I'd like to see him finish off his mile and drive away, he's not as good on the front. I think we know that. So we'll race Blue Monk here at Mohawk. I think Mohawk, maybe Georgian, race him off the pace, and I think you'll see the Blue Monk that I had vouched for a month ago. And just so you know, I mean, you know, you look at horses like Blue Monk or like No Free Lunch. I was lucky enough to sell all my shares of them out of the stable 4 weeks ago. So for those of you who fleeced me on the No Free Lunch shares, good for you. That's 1 for you and 0 for Anthony. 26 flat, that guy. We'll get to him in a minute. Man, oh man, he's a nice horse. So Blue Monk, not quite to the stature of No Free Lunch yet, but nevertheless, it's a long summer. And we'll see. No Free Lunch is kind of like a little missile, right? He's put together well, but he's not as big as Blue Monk. He doesn't have as much mass as Braemar. So those horses are going to need a little more work. But there's no doubt about it today who the star of the show was. We will get to him in just a second. Before we get to him, we get to Adrenaline Rush. I think you can tell I think he was going to win the qualifier. He got out of gear and almost made a break coming out of the last turn. Paced 28 on the end of it. That would have turned into 27, and I think a metaphorical trip to the winner's circle had he paced hard the whole way down the lane. I think his hobbles were just a little bit long. He looks a little trappy gated. What that means is, if you watch his gait, he folds up really high up front, both him and Braemar. And what we do in a lot of cases like that is lower them down, try to keep them around 50 degrees up front, and put aluminum shoes on them up front. Now the problem with aluminum shoes, there's give and take here. Aluminum shoes are lighter. They're lighter because they're a different alloy, and that alloy doesn't absorb as much shock. So it's a little harder on the horse's front feet. So you're giving up that concussion of hitting the track harder with the steel shoes that can absorb a little bit more concussion for a lighter shoe that can't, but it should flatten their gait out a little bit, which may make it a little easier for them to make speed and carry speed. So that's the plan there. I think both Braemar and Adrenaline Rush, you'll see an aluminum shoe go on them up front. I'd like to let Braemar's hobbles out, where I'd like to take in Adrenaline Rush's hobbles. Again, very minor things, but they'll make a big difference, I think, in the future. Then we got to No Free Lunch after the break. And, you know, this horse, and we've said this a million times, I really don't know until I see the starting gate, right? If you would have told me that No Free Lunch would come 26 seconds on the end of it, 55 at a piece, his second start, with the earplugs in, under no urging, I would say that's unlikely. Nevertheless, over the last month, he got better and better and better. If you'd asked me today, not shocked. This is an incredibly talented colt. He can carry his speed. Look where I moved him. Halfway around the last turn, put him in attack mode. We weren't even at the 3/4 pole yet. I cleared to the lead like that, and he never let up. He's absolutely merciless when he clears to the front, and I love that about this horse. Just a really, really nice colt. If there's a certainty we have a gold horse in our stable, if we have a gold horse in our stable right now, it's him, right? I think Adrenaline Rush has got a lot of work to do, and he's got time to do it, and he's a nice horse. Warby Was Up showed up today. Beef and Cheddar, we'll get to them in a minute. But No Free Lunch was clearly the king of the castle today and the king of the stable. So No Free Lunch, just a little 56-4 first over in the last turn. Last quarter in 26 flat with the earplugs in. And a last half in 55-2. Just an incredible mile for that pacer today. He is some kind of nice horse. We come out the next one with Warby Was Up. You could see he cleared to the lead. He fought, cleared to the lead, and then went to sleep until Casey's horse jumped on him down the lane. And at that point, it's too late. Little set of earplugs on him, and I think he actually impressed me today. He looked very, very good today. So I was really happy with Warby Was Up. I came out in the next race with Beef and Cheddar. Got away in the 3-hole. I think maybe he was spinning his wheels with the flip-flops on down the lane, and James was mad because I cut him loose. I pulled the earplugs, and I was chasing him the whole way down the lane. I want the horse. I want to know what he's going to be able to do. I have no interest in coming back and hanging up the lines and saying 27-2, bow in his neck. He was all. I don't give a shit about that. I care what the horse can do, not what he might do. What potentially someday he could do. I want to know what he can do. Beef and Cheddar's on the bubble of being grassroots or a gold colt. He looked good today. Did he look astonishing? No. He didn't want any part of No Free Lunch. And he went faster than the other colts, I believe. And he looked pretty good. But needs to do a little more. He needs to turn that 28 flat in the end of it to 26 and a piece 27. I think he can. He needs to focus a little more. If we can get aluminum shoes on him and keep him sound up front, I think Beef and Cheddar's got a lot to offer. Very, very green colt. No Free Lunch knows what he's there to do. Kill. That's what he's there to do. He's a mercenary. But no, Beef and Cheddar hasn't quite got it yet. And I think he should have run down those leaders and drove away. And he didn't. But there's a lot, as I said, long summer, lots to do. And Beef and Cheddar looked very, very, very good today. Roy Hill. Little bit of a question mark hanging on Roy. How was he going to do? There was no shadows, but they were there. He didn't jump over a shadow last week. He jumped over what he thought was a shadow. I took the shadow roll back off of him. I let him jog over the shadows last week. I let him jog over the shadows Wednesday. I had no idea what Roy Hill can do. Roy Hill's biggest obstacle is in his head. Does he want to be a good horse? If Roy Hill had the mentality of no free lunch, freak of nature, I think. He's built like an Adonis, but he holds back, right? And maybe that's just trepidation. Maybe the horse is just not mature yet. But Roy Hill got away fourth, felt like he was going to attack in the last turn. I moved him over and I allowed him to, and he didn't. Now, here's the kicker on that. He didn't attack, but he paced his last quarter in 27-2, and he paced his last half in 55-2. A lot of the horses that were doing that today had big miles or quarters into them last week. They were physically ready to do more. Roy Hill wasn't. Roy Hill trained in 2-1 at the farm, trained him slower at the track, jumped over a shadow last qualifier, so really didn't get a fast mile or a quarter into him. So I didn't know what to think of Roy Hill today. Did his mile wow me? No, but the math did. 55-2 the last half for any pacer. Virtually his first qualifier, because the first one he run, he was wasn't in the mix anywhere. So 55-2 last half, 27-2 last quarter is good. Now, if I leave with him in Ohio in the next generation and land in the 2-hole, can he sustain that a mile in 54? 53? I don't know. Looks like we're going to find out, though. So Roy Hill, I guess, deceptively impressive. How's that? He was good. I thought he could have been better, but when you look at the math, I don't really know if he could have been better. Could he have paced the last half faster than 55? Or is he physically able right now? Maybe that's what he could have done today. Maybe I'm being a little hard on Roy. Nevertheless, an incredible mile for Roy Hill, and he looked very, very good. He did his work well. Then we went to the last qualifier, and certainly wasn't the cherry on top, was it? We had the Fat Cobra, made a break on Louis Watt. I should have went with them. It was kind of a coin flip. Do I go with Surreal Love and see how good he is, or do I go with the Fat Cobra and see if he's not hitting his knee? Louis, I didn't get to catch up with Louis after the horse made a break in the last turn. I mean, let's be honest. Surreal Love and Roy Hill, or Surreal Love and the Fat Cobra, they're just horses, right? And I think we know that now. That's not the end of the world. They're qualified. They both want to do their work. Are they good enough at it? That's the question, right? Comes back to you're going to have to judge these qualifiers. The trickiest thing is to judge a qualifier like a Glare AM yesterday. I had a ton of emails about a Glare AM. What's wrong with her? Do you think she'll get better? James told me how fantastic she was. And James and I got in a little bit of a tilt. He was mad because Beef and Cheddar, I told you, he chased him. And I told him, I said, you beat 16 lengths in 2-1 last week. I don't need to hear he's green. I need him to march forward. That's how it is. And James, keep in mind, this isn't a dig on James. James is people may attack me when I say a world-class driver, but he could be, and he probably should be, and he will be someday. James is smart on the track, protects all the horses. I'm the trainer, right? And I told him the one day, I said, we are marketing the stable as the stable. We need to know how good the horses are. You might make a great burger, but I have to market the restaurant. And I understand that you're trying to protect. He wanted to go with Roy Hill today. It's short of drugging me or kidnapping me and putting me in the trunk of a car. James wanted to go with Roy Hill today. but I was going with Roy Hill today. And it had nothing to do with James other than, James just trying to protect. Away, Fly, get out. Other than James trying to protect all the horses, and I appreciate that, but now it's time to go, right? Kindergarten's over. It's race time. So, when it came down to, getting back to the last sets, or getting back to Aglera yesterday, James got away in a bad spot, got over the half too slow, and then come a good last quarter and good last half. He told me, quote unquote, she was awesome. And I take him at his word. He knows what he's talking about. It's just him saying he's awesome, or her saying she's awesome, and seeing that translated into actual tangible chart lines is different, right? It's hard for me to explain to people, oh no, he's okay. I know what you're thinking. Anthony, email from Anthony. Don't worry, Aglera-M's okay. Click. Yeah, sure he is. Sure she is. Yeah. Well, then why'd she go in 2-4? I get it, right? But James's job is to be the driver and to be James, and Anthony's job is to be Anthony, and that's why I went with Beef and Cheddar, and that's why I went with Roy Hill. And I was happy with both of them in different ways. I think I was a little disappointed somewhat also. But at the same time, this is racing, and every horse matures differently. I wish we had a bunch of no free lunches. We didn't know we had no free lunch until we had them. We didn't know we had no free lunch until last week. Or maybe the schooler, when you say, geez, this is kind of a nice horse. Nobody really knew. You didn't know. 78 shares that horse 4 weeks ago. No one knew. I didn't know. You didn't know. No one knew. So, that's the beauty of the game, though, right? We still don't know. So, we have a lot of horses that have proven they are talented animals, regardless of what idiots on social media say or whatever. I don't care. Regardless of what people say about the stable, we have some talent, and I think we all knew that. We do have some horses that we thought were good that maybe aren't. Maybe aren't as good as I thought. Philly Fringes, flat yesterday. She seemed stiff. She seemed sore over the back. She didn't seem super comfortable. Can she be better? Yes, but is this attributed to her not being good enough, or allergies, or an issue? So she's going to go up to the vet on Monday. Won My Heart Hanover, horse I love to death. You guys know that. Wasn't super awesome yesterday. She was just okay. And you get other horses today, another horse on Thursday. You guys know by now. There's some horses that we don't know for sure. Aglera, I don't know for sure. I'll take James on his word. That doesn't mean she's going to Philadelphia on July 1st. That's not going to happen. Neither is Philly Fringes, neither is Won My Heart Hanover. Braymare's not going anywhere for a while, but that is, as I said to you, August is when we're going to cut him loose. We're going to teach him, because he's a horse that I truly believe. There's a horse suited for James very perfectly. Keep him quiet, keep him covered up, have him pacing on the end. When we put some more weight on him, he's still got probably 50 pounds of weight to put on. A lot of that spun into muscle. When we do that, then I think you're going to see a good Braemar. So anyway, a great day today. I would say the best day we've had in quite a while. No free lunch is a freak, as far as I'm concerned. I know I'm biased, but I don't think anybody can see a 2-year-old second lifetime start come first over in the last turn and just throw down 26 flat with the earplugs in. He's a freak. We got a lot of nice horses that are not to that level. That doesn't mean they're not nice horses. So I was happy overall today. I think we're starting to now sift everything out. We're going to see some horses aren't good enough and probably be up for sale. Other horses we're going to need time with, and other horses are ready to go. So that's where we're at right now. A great day today, a good day yesterday, pretty good day before that. I'm pretty happy overall with the way the stable's shaking down. Let's get to the races. Soon I'll be in Ohio. Ontario looks like it's in great shape, obviously, with James and Mario and Jason. And Jason has some still here. Harry, Kevin. Just a great-looking bunch. Really excited about Ontario. Really excited about Ohio. I'm a lovely lady. GW Chrome tonight. I love that horse. I can't wait to race him. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you had a great day. We did. Big smile here. All smiles at the stable today. I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.